This is huge. The San Francisco Giants actually looked like somewhat of a formidable baseball team this weekend. They end up beating their former Bay Area rivals, and it was a fun weekend for the guys in the orange and black. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Michael Monreal, and we will be breaking down the series win for the San Francisco Giants here on SF Giants Digest. Now, if you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health struggles, you should hear this. Recently, a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They knew their apps could contribute to anxiety, depression, and even body image issues, but did not share those risks while prioritizing profits. The recent historic verdict underscores the consequences of those decisions. Now, Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm they caused. Click the link in the bio to take a short quiz. You may be entitled to a potential recovery of over $1,000. Thank you to Morgan & Morgan, and make sure to check out that quiz below to go for your chance of recovery of over $1,000. Now, into today's video. We're going to quickly go game by game, talk about the Giants, one of their best series of the year, if we're being completely honest. I'd say they looked really good in this one, the first series against the Dodgers, and then that second series of the year against the San Diego Padres. We're going to break down game by game how the Giants looked in this weekend's series, and we are going to start with game one, of course, which was on Friday. Now, in this one, Aaron Civale took the mound against Tyler Mahle, and unfortunately, it was a bit of a rough night for Mahle. Up until the fifth inning, he looked pretty strong, to be honest. He was going through a pretty strong night, but then in that last inning, giving up a 3-run home run to Nick Kurtz. That guy's inevitable. He is one of the best young hitters in all of Major League Baseball. He's kind of something you hope Bryce Eldridge develops into if the Giants actually put him in the lineup, and the Giants did end up losing this one 5-2. Outside of Luis Ariz, who had 4 hits and 5 at-bats, he launched his first home run of the year. He's now hitting .317, so a really strong day for Ariz on Friday night. Besides him, not a ton going on offensively. Outside of Willy Adames, he went 2 for 4, and Harrison Bader also launched his home run on Friday night. But outside of that, Aaron Civale, he kind of shut the Giants down after some early swings from, like I said, Luis Ariz hit a home run, Harrison Bader. Outside of those 2 swings, he was very good against the lowly Giants lineup. And like I said, we're going to not talk about this one as much because, as I've mentioned, in games 2 and games 3, the Giants actually looked like a pretty solid baseball team, although the way this season has gone, they'll probably show up on Monday night and lay an egg and play some horrible baseball. But we'll enjoy it as we can, as the Giants did end up winning the next 2 games. And in this one, game 2 on Saturday night, they won 6-4. I'll start with Trevor McDonald because he was great. 6 2/3 innings, just 5 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, only 1 walk. He has looked very solid since entering the Giants rotation. And I think after this outing, the A's have a good offense. There's a lot of young talent in there. After Trevor McDonald does this against them, he has earned a spot in the rotation even after Logan Webb is back from the IL. So whether Tyler Mahle, Adrian Hauser goes to the bullpen, whatever that looks like, Trevor McDonald deserves to stay in this rotation, especially if Buster Posey and Tony Vitello are really saying that they're trying to compete this year. Trevor McDonald flat out gives you a better chance at winning games than Tyler Mahle does right now, that's for sure. Adrian Hauser has looked solid of late, but either way, Trevor McDonald deserves to stay in this rotation. And then the other guy in this one who gets all the attention is Casey Schmidt. He had an amazing game. He went 4 for 5 with 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and then we'll shout out this video of his second home run of the night. It was an Oppo Taco one. Obviously, the ball flies a little bit more in Sacramento than a big league ballpark, but still, he went the other way, and this was his second home run of the night. I believe it was his second career multi-home run game, and after this game, his numbers look very, very impressive. You see, now he is currently slashing 293, 342, 536 after that 2 home run game. Good for a 147 WRC plus, an average exit velocity just under 90 miles an hour, only striking out 21.7% of the time, which is a welcome development for him because earlier in his career, we saw him swinging at pitches outside the zone, chasing the low and away slider. Now his swing decisions are much, much improved, and he looks like a real building block for this San Francisco Giants team for the future. And on the year, already has 8 home runs, currently leading the Giants in that department, 8 doubles. he has, like I've said several times on this channel, just undoubtedly been the San Francisco Giants' best hitter to open the year. Yes, I know Luis Ariz is hitting north of 310, but in terms of overall package on offense, Casey Schmidt has been exactly that, hitting close to 300, slugging over 530, just a very well-built hitter at the plate, doing pretty much everything you could ask for from a right-handed hitter at the top of the Giants order. And this home run gave the Giants their first home run in the 3 spot of the lineup of the 2026 season. So pretty sad it took almost 7 weeks for that to happen. But nonetheless, Casey Schmidt with a very impressive game, leading the Giants offense to a win on Saturday night. Like I said, 6-2, the final score in that one. And now, getting into today's game, this was a fun one. It may have happened late, but it was a fun game. For the most part, it was a close game, 2-1 for the majority of it. But I'll start with Adrian Houser because he was great. 6 innings, 1 earned run, just 4 hits, struck out 3, 5 walks. We've seen he's not going to be a big strikeout guy, but allowing just 1 earned run over 6 is very strong for your number 5 starter, especially against an offense like the A's. He held Nick Kurtz hitless. He held Brent Rooker hitless. Some really good pitches made by Adrian Houser, and he mentioned after the game, the wind was blowing him every which way on the mound. That's why he did have the 5 walks, but he ended up not getting hurt by those and getting out of a few jams earlier on in the game. On the offensive side of this, there was a lot going on. The Giants, like you can see, scored a 10, and that is thanks to an 8-run, I believe, 8th inning, a very strong offensive showing for the Giants. Matt Chapman is one I want to point out before we get into Harrison Bader's home run. He went 2 for 4 with 1 RBI. He has had a rough last month of baseball, especially since we've gotten into May. It's been a really rough go for Matt Chapman, who is one of your big money makers. The Giants desperately need him to turn things around so he can no longer be in these trade rumors, because if we see Matt Chapman hit just 250 or 240 with 20 bombs this year, he will accumulate a ton of WAR because we know that defense is going to be extremely, extremely solid throughout the remainder of the year. Rafael Devers had another big swing. He had a one earlier in that 8th inning that gave the Giants some more cushion before Harrison Bader broke it wide open. And I guess we'll just get into Harrison Bader now. He got a home run taken away from him because of the wind in Saturday night's game, and the wind gave it right back to him in this one's, as in that 8th inning, he capitalized with an outside fastball. He takes it the other way, and the wind takes the rest of it, giving the Giants a 8th inning grand slam and a huge cushion, a 10-1 lead, which would end up being the final score. This inning looks like something the Giants have needed for the last month, if we're being completely honest. Something that can finally get the offense going for the long run and show some signs of life that this offense can be above average the way we thought it would be going into the regular season. We knew Rafael Devers, Willy Adames, Matt Chapman. We knew these guys weren't going to be quiet forever. They're making big money for a reason, and that is because across their careers, they've been so consistent across the entirety of their Giants tenure too. I know it's young for Willy Adames, Rafael Devers, but Rafael Devers hit 20 home runs in 90 at-bats with the Giants last year. Willy Adames broke the 30 home run curse. Matt Chapman hit 27 bombs his first year. He hit 22 last year, despite being hurt for almost a quarter of the year. This is a good Giants core, and now this inning was a bit of a sneak peek of what we could see from the Giants, but if we're being honest, we just have not seen that lineup throughout the entirety of the 2026 campaign. But who knows, maybe this is the game that kind of opens their eyes and we get to see a fun lineup for, maybe a few weeks it lasts, but it'd be nice to see some fun baseball in San Francisco again, because obviously it's been quite a while since that. Now, I do want to close out with the NL West updates, the standings. The Giants are still 4th. Obviously, they have a few games to call back to get into 3rd, but the good news is the Diamondbacks are not necessarily great this year. They have some real pitching concerns. The lineup has been as good as we thought it may be. Ketel Marte's gone off to a slow start. The Giants now have 2 games on the Rockies, which for a while we were tied with the Rockies for last place. I believe we were in last place a few games. So the Giants, they may not be very good this year, but they cannot finish below the Rockies, because that would be extremely, extremely discouraging, considering the fact that you have one of the top half payrolls in all of Major League Baseball. Now that is going to do it for today's video. Make sure to leave a comment down below what you thought of the San Francisco Giants this weekend. Like I said earlier on, it was one of their best showings this year, especially by the offense. Some good pitching performances from Trevor McDonald, Adrian Houser, some good bullpen performances, and then, as I've mentioned, the offense was great. Casey Schmidt continuing to demolish the baseball, a multi-home run game on Saturday. Harrison Bader coming to life with a few home runs in this series, and Luis Ariz hitting 2 home runs in this series. We haven't seen any from him across the entirety of the first month or so. So good to see some Giants hitters coming to life in this series. Make sure to leave a comment what you've thought of the Giants over this weekend, and make sure to subscribe to SF Giants Digest. Thank you so much for watching.